there's just something about slow motion that makes a death scene all that much better. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 slow motion deaths in movies. For this list, we're looking at our favorite death scenes that incorporated slow motion. We're basing our picks on the dramatic, comedic, or badass impact that the slow motion effect brought to the scene. The character's demise per se doesn't have to be in slow motion, as long as the technique is used in the overall events of the death. Oh, and needless to say, spoilers ahead. Now let's get to it. Number 10, Apollo Creed, Rocky IV.
And Apollo seems to be in great spirits tonight. He's really putting on a show for this capacity crowd.
In this fourth installment of the series, good old Rocky travels to Moscow in order to get revenge on Ivan Drago for killing his friend and mentor Apollo Creed. Oh, and to seemingly end the Cold War by himself, but that's a whole other thing.
What I was trying to say is that if I can change,
Я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился сегодня.
and you can change,
Вы можете измениться.
everybody can change.
Каждый может измениться.
Apollo's death scene is perhaps one of the few dramatic moments in this otherwise goofy film that actually works, and it's undoubtedly helped by the use of slow motion. It's used to great effect in the final punch, giving it that much more oomph, and lends dramatic weight to Creed's falling body.
My God!
Creed is down. Apollo is down, and he could be badly hurt.
Number 9, The Bomb Goes Boom, The Hurt Locker.
How about this? You sell it at fertilizer.
In 2008, director Kathryn Bigelow took the world by storm with this intense masterpiece about, well, pretty much about disarming bombs, but damn did it do that well.
Butcher shop, 2 o'clock, dude has a phone.
In this riveting opening sequence, Sergeant Matthew Thompson, played brilliantly by Guy Pearce, attempts to disarm a bomb before realizing that the explosion is inevitable and runs away for his life.
Come on, guys, talk to me.
Drop the phone.
The shot of the bomb exploding in slow motion sends the viewer into shock and awe, and provides one of the film's many gorgeous and heart-stopping sequences. Future directors, take note, this is how you make a war movie. Number 8, Kim Jong-un blows up real good, The Interview.
Balls to the wall, motherfuckers!
Before this controversial film was released, North Korea issued a statement warning America of imminent danger if they released the film to the public, as they believed it would be a declaration of war.
Let it shine, just on the night, like the 4th of July.
While we wouldn't go that far, there is no doubt that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's death is especially graphic and tantalizing. When James Franco's Dave fires a tank shell into Kim's helicopter, the resulting explosion is shown in glorious and detailed slow motion, including his hilarious skin wobble and subsequent incineration. It's gloriously violent, but pretty satisfying.
Even brighter than the moon. It's always been inside of you.
Number 7, Sarah falls to her death, cliffhanger.
You ready for the best ride in the park?
Give me a second, I'll let you know.
In Sly's second entry on this list, he plays Gabe Walker, a rescue ranger that's enlisted to help stranded mountaineers in the Rocky Mountains. In this mesmerizing opening sequence, Gabe attempts to save Sarah, the girlfriend of his best friend Hal Tucker.
Sir, please.
Since it's the opening scene, you expect Gabe to save her life in the nick of time against the odds. But the movie defies expectations and drops Sarah to her death in dramatic slow motion, allowing the viewer to relish the shock factor. That scream would screw us up for years to come, I tell you.
No! Sarah, no!
Number 6, Dumbledore's death, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Severus.
Snape kills Dumbledore, spoilers, boom! While that particular spoiler may be old news by now, it was everywhere in the late 2000s, and this movie beautifully captures the powerful wizard's death and perfectly translated it onto the big screen.
Go on, Draco. No!
After arriving back from his and Harry's trip to the zombie cave, Snape uses the Avada Kedavra curse and knocks Dumbledore off the clock tower.
Avada Kedavra.
It's a heart-stopping moment, and the slow motion is put to perfect use to amplify the drama of the scene. We can only watch in horror as Dumbledore falls away from the camera and out of the story forever.
Snape! He trusted you!
Number 5. Marky, killing them softly.
Ride up easy. Nice and smooth.
There's no denying that Marky's death is one of the most spectacular slow motion scenes in movie history.
A little bit ahead, put me right up next to him.
At this moment, Brad Pitt carries out a personal hit against Ray Liotta's Marky, and the results are show-stopping. The slow motion is used beautifully, and the shots are gorgeous, including the gun's moving hammer, the falling shell, and the raindrops. If that wasn't good enough, it's also surprisingly brutal, with slow and detailed moments like the bullet opening a wound in Marky's hand and the blood splattering from his head. Never before has murder looked so good.
And I kiss the name that you saw.
Number 4. Mama inhales slow-mo and gets pushed out a window. Dread.
Your crimes are multiple homicide and the manufacture and distribution of narcotics. How do you plead?
We have to marvel at what a good slow motion sequence can do for a film. While Dread was well received by critics, this final scene is pure cinematic ecstasy. After pushing Mama out a window, viewers are treated to a dazzling sequence, full of reflective shining glass and divinely colored shots. The slow, atmospheric music helps to flawlessly set the tone for the scene, as it proved to be a stunning sequence in a movie that critics and audiences were willing to write off as just another violent escapade at the cinema. They were wrong.
Yeah.
Number 3. Boromir gets pelted with arrows. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
The Horn of Gondor. Boromir.
You can't have a death-related list without Sean Bean. The Lord of the Rings films don't kill off major characters very often, but when they do, the impact is heavily felt. At the end of this installment, when the Fellowship is traveling to Parthgalen, they are ambushed by Uruk-hai, and their leader fires multiple arrows into Boromir's chest. The scene will bring tears to your eyes due to its soft music and stirring use of slow motion, making Boromir's sacrifice and last stand that much more powerful.
Forgive me. I did not see. I have failed you all. No, Boromir. You fought bravely.
While he definitely had his flaws, his extraordinary send-off more than redeems him.
I would have followed you, my brother. My captain. My king.
Number 2. Happy trails, Hans. Die Hard.
Happy trails, Hans.
Die Hard is a true action classic, not only due to its everyman hero and realistic approach, but also due to its marvelous villain Hans Gruber, played superbly by Alan Rickman.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
When John McClane finally arrives to rescue his wife Holly, he sends Hans tumbling out of a window. After John releases Holly's watch, we watch in morbid horror as Hans' face slowly changes from confidence to fright as he realizes that his death is imminent. Fun fact, this wondrous effect was actually achieved by dropping Alan Rickman onto the safety airbag on the count of 2 instead of 3 when he was expecting it. Before we slowly get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Elias is gunned down. Platoon.
Back down there!
One of the most parodied death scenes in film. Elias's demise is both heroic, heartbreaking, and entirely captivating to witness thanks in no small part to its use of slow motion. After Barnes tells the platoon that Elias has been killed, after shooting him himself, Elias dramatically emerges from the trees and is gunned down in front of his fellow soldiers.
Hold your orbit. Guns, pull off. We're trying to come around my side.
The music swells to epic proportions, and we watch in astonishment as Elias gets more and more wounded, eventually reaching to the heavens before succumbing to his injuries. It's truly one of the most memorable scenes in film history.
He killed him. I know that he killed him. I saw his eyes when he came back in.
How do you know the dinks didn't get him?
Do you agree with our list? What slow motion death is your favorite? For more fast-paced top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
It's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.